Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using this country kitchen from Echo Park. I think it's Cartabella, and I got it in one of their warehouse sales. I didn't partake in the last one because I'm still working through the first one that I did. But I wanted to use this paper to make some no dyes, no problems teacups and coffee mugs. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make all kinds of projects like cards, of course, but we're also going to make like coffee mug boxes and coffee mug shaped cards. So stick around with me. I just wanted you to see this paper. I thought it was so cute. So the first thing that, of course, I usually do for my no dyes is I sketch out a template. So here I'm just sketching a coffee mug. Now I recommend to do it like this. Like start with a sheet of paper that is the size of your card base, right? That is the best way to ensure that you're going to create a template that will fit on your card base. When you move over to a sheet of paper like this, of course you could do a grid on it to keep yourself within a certain size, but it is easy to go a little too big. I tend to do that. So the best way I've found is to start with, like, if you're going to make an A2 card, start with an A2 card base for your sheet of white paper so you know that everything you draw fits within there. So here I'm drawing my little teacup, and the first thing I drew was a coffee mug, and I will even draw another coffee mug later that's going to be even bigger. So here I'm just, of course, fussy cutting this out. This takes no time at all. Very simple shape to cut out. And I had just sketched a little handle, so I will fussy cut that out too. And then what I'm going to do is, see, they're just so cute. I'm going to take these and I'll just keep cutting them out. So for this one, I wanted to cut one more out of my white cardstock so that I have two. Then I kind of drew like the lip of the cup. And now I can see how that fits perfectly at the top. Now I have two pieces. I did that so I could cut a little coffee mug out of patterned paper, so I'd always know the size of the top of my cup, things like that. So I pick a piece of this patterned paper. I'm just going to use my template and trace around, leaving that top part off. So this will be the body of the teacup, if you will. And then that top piece is going to be the rim of the coffee cup. So I thought this little scene was super cute for a coffee mug, a bunch of happy little pigs in their red barn. So that's what I chose. These cards are very country, which is adorable. I'm not really a country kind of girl, but it's fun to work outside of your comfort zone. And when my mom came into the craft room to see what I was working on, she loved them. She's like, I want them all. So, it's fun to make things that are outside of your own aesthetic because there's always someone who will love and enjoy what you make. Now here I'm showing you, this is also great for stencils. I just wanted to show you if you didn't want to use patterned paper, or if you had a stencil that you really loved. I thought this one was cute. Even if I had used a more cobalt color, that would have been super cute, but it just looks like a little porcelain teacup. Now for that top piece that I had cut out for the pigs, I am going to bring in my distress ink, and I just found a color that matches this patterned paper. And I distressed that, as well as I've got this ground espresso distress oxide that I'm going to bring in with a really thin makeup brush. And I'm going to put some coffee in this mug. And these are just really easy things to do. If you don't have distress inks or don't use them, any ink would probably do. And then you could also use alcohol markers, colored pencils, just whatever medium you like to work with, acrylic paint, gouache. I'm going to use kind of all that stuff today, or a lot of that stuff. So you'll see. So here it's easier to color your paper and then cut it out rather than trying to ink up a piece that's already cut for that handle. So that's what I was showing y'all here. And now I'll just piece that little mug together. So I went to my stash and I had this one stamp set in mind. It's a very country kind of themed stamp set as well. It's all about coffee. It's from Inka Dinka Doo. It's really, I think that's their name. It's really old, but hey, it doesn't matter. Right? You might even have it in your stash. All right, so then I cut out a lot of mugs out of patterned paper, which you can see at the top of the screen there. And now I'm making a huge mug. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when I drink a cup of coffee, I like a big mug. And so I am just, hand sketching this. I'm not really sizing this up. That's something I do kind of after the fact. This mug is really too big for a coffee front or card front. It's best to make a shaped card with, because it's basically 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 by the time you put the handle on. So now I'm holding it up to this paper, trying to decide how I want to decorate this one. And this is going to actually be a box. So I found these two patterns that I wanted to work with. And now I'm just kind of, putting them together, if you will. So the red side with the chickens is the main part of the coffee mug, and then this is the decoration on it. Trying to move all my templates out of the way. Here I'm just going to sketch kind of directly onto a scrap piece of paper to get my handle. You could totally do this. Now, if you erase on pattern paper, a lot of times you will erase the paper. It just depends on the maker, the type of paper. So be cognizant of that. But I didn't have any problem with it. You could, if you accidentally erase a little bit of the pattern on your paper, you could always use an ink blend around it and cover it up. You can fix most things, right? All right, now here's a different mug I'm already on to, and I wanted to use a little bit of embossed paper for the bottom portion of this one. I love ceramics, and so I just thought it would be nice to have like this ivory color. It kind of looks like, a nice ceramic mug. So I like the way these two look. Again, I'm just grabbing a scrap of paper and I'm going to freehand on this one. I'm not even sketching. I'm just freehanding a handle here. And I think I probably prefer a sketched handle, but it all works out, especially when I move it over to the other side. It's not working on that side necessarily, but when I move it over here, it's much better. Okay. So look at all of these. And you guys, it took me 1 hour to conceptualize and do all of these projects. So you can make quite a bit in a little bit of time. All right, so when you're working with a lot of handmade templates, I definitely recommend labeling them. So like this one is Big Mug. This is just a portion that, I want it to look like the mug is filled with tea. So I'm just cutting that out. It's all hand drawn. This is a very whimsical look to everything I'm making today, but I think that in our industry, whimsy is a very popular thing. So when you're doing these no dies, no problems with me, don't be too critical on yourself. Like, think about your stash. Think about how many things you have bought or have wanted to buy that were very whimsical. So the things that you make can be whimsical too. And so, think about folk art. I love folk art myself. So I think that that's kind of how I see a lot of my makes when I'm doing no dies, no problem. Here, I just really quickly hand cut a little, this is going to be, like my tea bag string and label. So I just cut that, used my tiny attacher, and that's why I had cut with my X-Acto knife around the inside, because I wanted that string to look like it was inside the mug. And now I'm using my Dollar Tree metallic paint pen. I love these things, you guys. I haven't gone back to get the silver, but I will eventually the next time I make it around to that area. But for now, I'm loving this gold one. And I'm just going to pop that up. This card is going to be a shaped card. And then this card is going to be a box. Now, I'm showing you those flowers because, well, they're whimsy, they're folky, and I'm going to draw flowers like those. So basically, I had the idea to add a bunch of cute little flowers to this mug, like sticking out of this mug. I brought in my Hemi gouache, which I do not use often enough. And honestly, I don't recommend palettes like this. That burnt sienna up there is like dried out. A lot of these are dried out. I've kept it sealed. I've kept it in a climate controlled area. But if you're going to buy gouache, I recommend tubes. And you just squeeze out what you're going to use at a time rather than an open palette like this, because it just gets crusty and dried. I've had these for 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I can't recommend. But I'm going to try to use up what I can. And now that I can see that they're just drying up on me, I'm definitely going to be trying to use them even more often. Now, I just used my finger to apply all of the paint for those. You see all those adorable flowers and leaves and stems? I used my finger because I didn't want to clean a paintbrush. It happens. It happens. So now I'm distressing a piece of paper for a background, and I want it to, be cohesive with this collection. So I did bring in, this is speckled egg distress ink, and also this is tea. Oh, what is it? Tea dye. So now I'm making a box, right? So the critical thing about the box is that the width of these pieces are all the same. You see here, the length can vary, but the width needs to be the same. And you always need to score on the same. So I scored at 1/4 of an inch on each side of these. And now I'm going to apply some score tape for the 1/4 inch folds. And I'm basically going to make myself just a little framework to turn these coffee mugs into a box. Now, you could make this as thick as you wanted. Mine's like 3/4 of an inch, I think, when it's folded, maybe a little less, but about 3/4 of an inch. I found that I could fit a few tea bags in there. You could definitely fit like a gift card and some tea. But yeah, you could make this as dimensional as you want. And as you can tell, I'm just kind of burnishing it down on the back of my coffee mug here, and I'm making sure that it's on the inside of the lines because I don't want it sticking out. And then I'm going to turn it over on my table and burnish all of the tape in for all of the tabs. And now we have this cute little standing box. Isn't that adorable? I kind of took some of my handmade flowers and made arrangements. I'm bringing in a doily. And I'm just going to make this little country chic little box. And it turned out so cute. Now here I'm kind of making a hinge for our folded shape card. So I don't have exact measurements here. I really was just kind of trial and error. You don't need to do what I did with this little piece, but just play around and make a hinge for your card. Okay, so I'm bringing in this stamp set, and the stamp that says Rise and Shine, and I just love that font. And I've got my card hinged together now, and I decided to put this over on the side. I think this card honestly was a little sloppy construction wise. I should have thought it out more, but I just cut and go and have fun. And but I wish I would have played with it a little bit more, but I still liked it, and it already has a home, so it's fine. Also on this card, I love these 3 little teacups that I'm going to stack up here together. I'm just going to distress these a little more around all the edges. I really felt like this made them look cohesive, and like a unit. And you can tell I made one of the teacups handles go a different way. The only thing I wish I would have done differently with this card is I wish I would have made it a 5x7. I wish I would have given that little stack of teacups more space, but it's an A2 and it all works out. Now here what I'm doing is taking that inner part and I'm tracing lines here and using my X-Acto knife because I want to stack these little teacups inside of each other. So I make them kind of wonky, like they're teetering there. And then I kind of trim and do different things to get this to fit on this card base. Again, I think it would have been super adorable on a 5x7. It just would have had more space so you could tell even better what these are. But I think it's pretty evident that they're teacups. So I just flip it over and use a little double-sided tape and glue and stick them together. So you guys definitely let me know what you think about this No Dies, No Problem. Let me know if you're going to give it a try, which example you enjoyed. I would love to hear in the comments down below. So I'm taking, again, a really narrow and skinny ink blending brush and kind of creating a lip there. And I also decide that I will put some tea or coffee inside. And I'm just constructing all of that. All right, so here we are. We have a shaped card. Cute. Not perfect, but super cute. We have a box. I just love those whimsy flowers and how they tie into everything. Just a cute little box. I'm showing you here, I had a few packages of different types of tea that fit in there very well. Yeah, everything I drink is decaffeinated, you guys. You would not want a caffeinated bitty penny. It's too much. This one is super cute. I just used a piece of pattern paper. I put that coffee mug on there, one of my flowers. I stamped it. So cute. That one I decided not to put the tea in after all. And the inside is so moody, like the backgrounds. And then this one, I think this might be my favorite. It's so cute. So let me know, again, what you guys think of this. I have so many more ideas that I want to share with y'all. So keep an eye out, subscribe so you catch the No Dies, No Problem. Catch you next time. Bye.